Hey everybody, my name is Tony Manfredonia, and this is the story about how the power of God resurrected my marriage. I first got into making music when I was 16 years old. Originally, I was covering bands like Coldplay and Muse and Keane, but a friend of mine at the time suggested I should try writing my own song, and so I did, and it just took off from there. After writing music in a singer-songwriter style for some time, I went off to school for music composition at Temple University, where I engrossed myself into the classical music world. From string quartets to piano sonatas, I eventually wrote music non-stop for the symphony orchestra. During my schooling, I ended up helping a friend write video game music, which eventually sent me off into a full-blown career writing video game soundtracks. Fast forward to 2020, when I returned to my singer-songwriter origins with the release of my album, Rosewater. Needless to say, my musical stylings have been all over the map. The continuity through it all, though, is the orchestra. I infuse everything I make with the sounds of the orchestra, which brings us to this album. Back in the summer of 2021, I, ashamed to say, nearly destroyed my marriage. I grew so selfish about my career, about the way I wanted our marriage to work, about our house, about our health. I wanted to control everything. I grew hateful, I grew bitter, I grew angry. I fell so far away from the path that God laid out for me that I nearly destroyed everything we built up together. If I'm being honest, truly, it was nothing short of demonic. I have full belief that there was demonic activity at play. Just as our marriage was on the brink of destruction, it was through a final effort of faith and prayer that brought healing. In short, it was complete surrender to God's plan that saved us. Everything changed almost overnight. The selfishness, the lies, the anger, everything was healed. I truly have no other way to explain it other than a miracle. We wouldn't still be married today otherwise. The story of Anchored is one of temptation and one of salvation, of failure that turns into redemption, of hatred that turns into love, of sorrow into forgiveness. On the surface, it's how our marriage almost collapsed and how it was healed through faith and prayer. But ultimately, it's a story of spiritual warfare, of good versus evil. Marriages and families are under attack spiritually, and we need marriages now more than ever. And so my mission for this album is to give hope to couples out there who are going through a tough time, all told through a cinematic, almost film-like musical experience with additional narrations from the venerable Fulton J. Sheen. Anchored is a concept album that depicts the spiritual warfare that exists within marriage and how complete surrender to God can bring about healing, joy, peace, and eternal happiness. The funds raised through this Kickstarter will be used to cover mixing and mastering costs, licensing, physical releases, artwork and promotional materials, as well as music videos and lyric video costs. Every share and every dollar amount helps so much, and you're all a part of my musical journey. Thank you so much, everybody, and many prayers and many blessings to you all.
Remember that no human being in the world is love. God alone is love. We creatures are just lovable, and only to a limited degree. When the creature begins to take the place of the Creator and is made to stand for love, then marriage turns to hate. They're in a fruitless and constant search for the infinite in the finite, for God in carnality.